What's up, everybody?
Going on?
Welcome to Comics and Crypto, your source for everything collectible. We're really excited about today's episode. We have some really cool things that we're going to cover today, including the Candy digital acquisition of Futureverse. We're going to talk about some bounties that we have with VeVe. There's some really cool drops coming out with VeVe collectibles as well. and of course, we're going to give a big shout out to our sponsor of this video, Fanable. Big shout to Fanable. Yeah, Fanable. We've been really excited talking about Fanable for quite some time. And for everyone out there, if you're not familiar with Fanable, Fanable is changing the game, combining physical collectibles with digital ownership. Send in your graded comics, video games, VHS, and action figures to be securely stored and insured in a Brinks vault for free. Yeah, for free. While maintaining full control of your collectibles through blockchain technology. And that's right. Free shipping, free storage, free insurance. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Join the weekly curated mystery cases for a chance to score a grail or sell it instantly with their 90% buyback option. It's fast, it's fun, and it's a whole new way to open packs. Secure, manage, and monetize your physical collectibles all in one place, only on Fanable.io. And this is their website, Fanable.io. We've sent in comic books to be stored in their vaults that we're going to have full access to at all times. And yeah, it's just exciting. We're going to be sending in VHS tapes soon. So we'll have those on there.
Very excited about that. Yeah.
Cards. Yeah, it's super cool. And for everyone out there had a chance to be part of our curated drop, that was an absolute blast. That was so much fun to be a part of that. And again, big shout out to the Fanable team for everything that they did for that drop. That was just absolutely incredible. It was so much fun.
Yeah, we're very stoked about the fact that so many people still haven't opened up their cases yet. It's very, very humbling. We appreciate that.
Yeah, actually, we can do a little quick test right now and see where it's at. I think we'll go to the market. But yeah, so these are all the drops that have happened. The recent one was Clash of the Titans, which is amazing because the biggest one for that, the biggest grail comic, the biggest chaser, was a Hulk 181 8.5 grade, worth about $5,500, according to GoCollect. And Fanable offers a 90% buyback of the fair market value for that comic. So they offered $5,000 to the person who got that pack, and someone did pull it.
Yep.
And I think it's an acquaintance of yours.
Yeah, yes. Somebody I know from way back in the VeVe days, N-Town, shout out N-Town. One of his friends who's actually a physical collector went for this drop. I think probably a little skeptical, and then and I think I'm pretty sure he's pulling it out and actually wants the physical book. He's a huge physical collector. So I think it's I think couldn't have gone to a more perfect person. Yeah.
That's amazing. It's actually confirmed. Yeah, he did pull it out of the vault. He turned down the $5,000 offer and pulls it out for himself. And I think it's so cool, man. That's what this is all about, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. And there's no wrong.
Maybe he can get more for it elsewhere. Maybe he thinks he can sell it for more on eBay, or, just wanted to test out the system to make sure it was legit and make sure it worked. I don't know, but yeah, super, super cool.
Yeah. Or he just wanted it for his collection, in person. And that's cool too. There really is no wrong answer.
That's the fun thing about this. You just have so many different options that you can do. So
yeah.
I still haven't landed anything big. Sean got the chase on one of the early stress test drops.
It was this one here. Yeah,
you got a spawn, right?
It's a spawn 9.8, and they put a bounty out for it for $175. And that was the exact value of the fair market value for the comic. Or I think it might have been a little bit above. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I took the offer. I was like, yeah, great. And I have some extra liquidity for future drops. I mean, I like that comic, but yeah, it's just really cool to be, to have that. And yeah, it's been fun. It's been really fun. The drop experience is incredible too. Really impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The design they put in doing the boxes. It's very, very impressive. I love all the work they're doing. And I just checked, there's still 46 unopened comics and crypto cases out of 75.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
it's incredible. Yeah, and these are all actual physical comics stored inside of a Brinks vault, and they have a digital certificate that's connected to the physical. So that way you're able to trade it, sell it, have it at your leisure, and enjoy the experience, because this thing is a 3D model. They digitize it. They take high-res photos for you for free. It's awesome. It's awesome. And once you redeem the collectible, it's burned. So not the physical collectible, the certificate that's connected to it, it's burned. So yeah, unless somebody wants to resubmit it. But Spencer, why don't we give a shout out to some of our viewers right now?
I was just going to do that. What's going on, Chris? Happy Friday. What's going on, Chris?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Pastor Mac? Hey, Adrian. Hello. Michael, how's it going, man? And then N-Town. This is my friend who whose friend pulled the Hulk 181.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, appreciate you, N-Town, for bringing new people into the space. Especially people who are a little skeptical of all this digital stuff.
Yeah, if you have any comments about his experience and how excited he is in town, definitely let us know, because we'd love to share that with the audience. And me too. I love to know how excited is he a collector in the digital space at all, or just purely physical? And was that like his first thing that he was a part of? Because if that was, oh my god, that's just that's mind blowing. Wow, what a right off the bat, huh? I mean, how do you get better than that?
But I will say, Fanable,
Anyway,
if you're listening, make sure you get Canada support soon for my friend N-Town.
yeah. Yeah, and if anybody out there has any questions, feel free to let us know. We just got a question, and we'll answer those in just a bit. We're going to go over some really cool topics first, and then we'll jump into some questions. And everyone out there too, I know people were probably thinking, where was the drop this week, the curated drop this week from Fanable? They announced that they're going to take a break from this week to focus on some internal things, and next week they're going to come out with the another curated drop, which it sounds like it's going to be awesome. So
it's going to be something really, really special. So yeah, get excited.
Yeah, we're excited for it. So yeah, definitely. We'll make sure to keep everyone posted. Make sure to follow Fanable on both Twitter and Instagram. You can follow the links down in the details below, and make sure to give them a follow so you can stay up to date with everything. But we'll also share it as well.
Yeah. Sean, do we want to answer one question first? Because we got one that came in before we jump into some of the topics here. I know this is a fun topic for both of us. So LJ says, hi guys, VHS question, if that's okay. In your humble opinion, what are the first edition tapes that you would recommend that is a must add to a collection, and how can you tell if it's a first print?
All right.
John's getting the examples
out. Just going over the side right here. Oh, it's stuck. Come on now. There it is. Yeah, my office is not packed or anything.
Things indefendable.
So I really am a fan of the 90s prints. What I really love about the 90s prints is that they're pretty easy to just differentiate and understand, like, what is a first print. Whereas the 80s prints can get a little complicated because it really comes down to watermarks. It can come down to stickers, but mostly it's watermarks, which complicates things a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of what's halted people from investing into things, because they just not sure if it's first prints. There's not enough information out there. Whereas 90s prints, it's a lot easier to identify. And most of the time, it's because of a manufacturing sticker. And here's a perfect example. Jurassic Park. You identify a first print by these two stickers. It's a Jello advertising sticker and an Academy sticker, and then you have watermarks on the side. That's a first print. Easy peasy. And the cool thing about that, and the big reason why we've done a lot of research into this and kind of figured out how to identify first prints, and it's in the 90s, the late 80s, early 90s, all the way through the 2000s, they started doing advertisements on the actual VHS tape. So like when VHS tapes first came out, they would have advertisements, but the advertisements would only last a certain period of time. It makes sense for budgeting reasons.
And they would do it for the initial release, because that was the biggest release that happened of the VHS. And that's when everybody's excited about it. Everybody's getting it right off the shelves. So It makes more sense to advertise on that first release than on later releases.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then also, here's an example of Indiana Jones. I'm 95% sure this is a first print copy of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I've talked to a lot of really big collectors who have also confirmed as well that this is likely a first print. And a lot of it is because you can tell by the expiration date of the offer, and balance it out with the actual release date. And this is, so basically, if it has a Diet Coke sticker, it's essentially a first print. But these, you can get these like in really good condition for like $15 to $20 right now.
Yeah.
Which is, in my opinion, I mean, these are some of the greatest films of all time. And again, there's a lot of them out there. Right, there's a lot of sealed copies still out there because they just mass produce them. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about the highest grades.
Totally,
it's going to be about the highest grades. That's how you differentiate a lot of the comics, right? By the highest grades, do the best, and 9.9s, 10s. Those are going to sell for insane premiums because those will probably have a few. Whereas like 9.0s, 9.2s, there's a lot higher production, a lot more copies in that grade, but less than the highest grades. So trying to find your favorite films in the 90s with the highest grades. That's the best route.
It's a good way to start without having to spend too much money. I mean, there also is other first prints that you could spend a lot of money on. Like, for example, like we have a Back to the Future first print still sealed. That is, there's, probably less than 10, known in the world that are still sealed. I'm sure more will come out, but at least right now, yeah, there you go. And we got it signed by Michael J. Fox. So yeah, this is not an easy one to find, but if you can find one, this is definitely a first print to own,
So you can tell because of the watermark. Actually, it has a Scotch. It should have had a Scotch sticker on the side, but it fell off. But that doesn't take away from being a first print, just additional value. But what's crazy is we actually got it graded by CGC, and it came back in 9.4. Here's the label for it, and we decided to crack it out of the case and get it signed by Michael J. Fox. Huge risk.
Yeah,
it was a massive risk on our end. I don't know if y'all have ever been to a Michael J. Fox signing recently, but it is very hectic. Yeah. It's very hectic. It's an assembly line. You can't have conversations with him. Yeah, it's pretty intense. So like having this and seeing like 10 different hands like pushing it down to have it signed was pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it's like they don't really realize what they're holding, So
because most of the time they're just getting signed photos or signed posters or Funkos, and that's okay. But like, it's like $10,000 tape.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's so. We actually have videos on this as well. If you go on our TikTok, we have a video that talks about first print tapes. But I think, especially 90s, Home Alone has a Pepsi sticker. Home Alone 2 has an American Airlines sticker. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that has a Pizza Hut sticker. Yeah. So it's really cool to see how all these films, you can differentiate them and get an idea of what first prints are. Because of the manufacturing stickers, and that, for the most part, we haven't studied every single film in the 90s, but for the most part, that's how you can identify them. And just use logic and reason, right? And just do your research. Make sure you put the time into really figuring out what it is you're buying into, and especially if it's expensive, you want to be careful of the risk reward factor. So,
yeah.
But yeah,
we know some people who are working on trying to make all this information more accessible, and we're probably going to help out with that process. So hopefully there'll be some kind of a resource, a website or whatever to help people identify what's what, at some point in the future. Because right now it's just it's hard to know what you're buying.
Exactly. 1 second. Boom! There we go. A little swapperoo there. Hey, that's officially sponsored by Fanimal. That's awesome. Yeah, nice. All right, next topic. Again, if anybody has any questions out there, feel free to ask at any time. We really enjoy answering these questions. We're obviously really excited and passionate about this stuff. So, actually, in the meantime, since we're talking about VHS, I'll just share this really quick. We're coming up to 420. I thought it's a fun one to share.
Yeah.
This is a screening tape of Half Baked. Now, this is a childhood. Man, nostalgia at its peak for me. One of my favorite comedies, Dave Chappelle's first film. He was not first film, actually. I take that back. First big film.
First big film, probably.
Yeah, he was in Blue Streak, and I think he was in a couple of cameos. He was in You Got Mail. He played. It was crazy. He was in You Got Mail, and he played Tom Hanks's friend in the movie.
Huh.
Crazy.
Wow.
Absolutely insane. Yeah, I had no idea. I watched it maybe a couple of years ago. Oh my gosh, it's Dave Chappelle. Are you kidding me? Yeah, he was great in it, but Half Baked was his basically coming out film, and I think it's one of the funniest films ever made. It's really fun in the back. It shows all the different promos of. There we go. There's a camera that talks about the box office results and all the details of the street dates and when it's being released. So that's the whole point of. See right here, it says street date on there. It says 1998, and this is still sealed on June 30th, 1988. So these were sent directly to distributors and rental shops for review, so they can decide if this is a film that they want to have. So we believe that, like, for the most part, these are about 30,000 to 40,000 copies are made of these initially. How many are around today? I've only seen 2 copies sealed in like 5 years, so I don't know. It's hard to say, but you have saved listings on eBay and you just snipe the heck out of them when they're available. So we got lucky on this one. Yep. Super happy to do it, and in celebration of 420, of course.
Of course. But yeah, LJ, if you have any follow-up VHS questions based on what we just said, feel free to shoot them. And then Don, we did not talk about candy yet, but we are going to get there in just a little bit. So just hang tight. And then, What up, Omar?
Hey, Omar, what's up, dude? Yeah, thanks for coming on. All right, next topic. Booyah! We raised our bounty for X-Men #2. So X-Men #2, the publishing year meant 1963. We raised it from $1,000 to $2,000. This is a comic that's really significant key. It's
Yep.
the second appearance of all the X-Men. Really cool comic. Unfortunately, there's only, I think there's 2,000 left. I think it was 4,000 or 5,000 total edition run for this comic. And unfortunately, they're going to be burned soon. I mean, I'm pretty sure that, yes, it's right there, 30 days only. So this comic is going to be burned, and if it's not minted, goodbye forever. Happened to Fantastic 448. We had a $5,000 bounty out for that one.
Never got minted.
It never got minted. And it's crazy too, because like I think it was 70 or 80% of the supply was minted.
Yeah.
I think it was more than that. I think it was like 90%. It was a lot. That's why, but there's the reason why it's like one of the biggest key comics of all time. And we were just yeah. We were like selling things off, getting ready for the purchase. Like this has to be a $5,000 bounty.
Yeah, somebody has to get this. Yeah.
Yeah, and it never got minted.
Yeah.
And shit burned. But that's the part. That's the way of life of collecting, right? I mean, that's the why things are collectible, because certain things don't exist for other, for other mediums and other comics. So, there's not a 9.9 comic for every comic.
Right.
So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's what makes this thing all interesting and fun.
Yeah, but we got a new one. So yeah, we hopefully somebody is able to pull it, and yeah, we'll be very, very happy to buy it from you. Obviously, if you want to keep it, it's a pretty sick comic to keep. But but the bounty's out there if you want to claim it.
I also kind of like that there's 30 days for multiple reasons, including creating more scarcity with editions, but also it helps us set our deadlines for our bounties.
I know. Yeah.
We don't have to set deadlines anymore.
Yeah.
So the only thing I do want to emphasize again, we've had a little bit of trouble about this in the past. If you are interested in claiming our bounty, and again, we want to emphasize this, if you are interested in claiming our bounty, make sure to post it for our amount. If you're going to post it for a higher amount, like we have no obligation at that point.
Yeah,
we've done that in the past. We've seen people, we had a $2,000 bounty for something, or I forget exactly what it was. But someone posted 4,000, and then 3,000, and then 2,500, and then eventually they posted ours after like a whole day. And I watched it. I took screenshots. I saw it drop. So look, I get everybody wants to try to make as much as they can, and that's totally fine. We are no harm, no foul. But for us, we're not going to sit there and wait, because we're going to make other decisions. And unfortunately, we can't make any offers within the app. Yeah. If we could do that, that would nip out all this conversation in the bud. Yeah. If we can make an offer, for like 3 days and say, this is our offer. If you accept it, great. If not, all good. But unfortunately, we can't do that right now. So this is the situation we're in. And, we're trying to put bounties on a bunch of different things and budget all this out. So make sure, I hope you all understand that. And yeah, moving on. Spencer, do you have anything to say? Or are you good?
Nah, this is good.
All right, Matt Murdock. Yeah, we already have an FA of Daredevil on the app. But I've been watching the show, and I was kind of going back and forth. Like, should we do a bounty on this? And I like the show a lot. It is really good. I'm enjoying it a lot. And I'm really big fan of the actor that plays Daredevil. So yeah, this is actually a first appearance collectible because it represents Matt Murdock, and not Daredevil. So interesting. But the collectibles look cool. And we put a $1,500 bounty out for the common 1964, which is Daredevil 1 publishing year. And then a $1,000 bounty for the uncommon 1964 as well. Now, originally we thought there was a rare, and we put it out, and someone commented there's only 1,700 editions.
Yeah.
I was like, oops, uh-oh. We went into brain fart mode right there, and we had to rebalance things out. Yeah. And we actually talked about it, and I think what was really cool is we decided, let's make the bounty for the common higher than the uncommon. Someone actually commented about that a while back, and it stuck with me. And that makes more sense, because the common is going to be a lot harder to hit
get. Yeah.
than the uncommon. Yeah. So, yeah, again, these are the floors. If somebody wants to sell for this, awesome. If not, all good. But, just know that these are the floors for these collectibles. So, and same rules apply as what we mentioned earlier. And booyah!
Another bounty.
Whoa, bounty it up. Man, just wait for May. There are some sick FAs coming, so probably gonna be some sweet bounties for those two. And
some Star Wars
yeah,
stuff.
we had
So
some
yeah,
conversations about that, and how we're gonna take care of it's worth it. It's so worth it. Anyway, so this is cool. This is the first appearance of John Walker, Captain America 333. The publishing year is 1987. So mint 1987 is our bounty for $500, which I presume was going to be probably the highest highest purchase price for any of these for any variants for this comic. I'd presume. So yeah, if anybody's interested, if you mint it, great. Let us know and post it for this amount, and we'll buy it.
yeah. I love this cover. This is actually like one of my favorite covers. I have a physical of this book, and
You
yeah,
know, and we're talking about this too. Like, should we post a bounty for this one? And it's not a really valuable comic. It's like $120, and a lot of it was because John Walker, he hasn't really been significant in the MCU. But I will say this: I really have this gut feeling that Thunderbolts is going to be a really awesome movie.
hope
The
so.
marketing has been fantastic for it, and that says a lot.
Yeah.
Because you feel it, right? I mean, I'll be honest. Captain America was not great. The marketing for it didn't feel good either.
So
But
not
Thunderbolts, it feels fresh. It feels new. It feels like the old Marvel we loved. It feels like it's back to its roots from in 2012 and 13 or 14, like when they had Winter Soldier. It feels like those roots again. Like we're learning about the characters and the deep core issues that they're facing, and that's what this movie's about.
Yeah.
It's a band of misfits coming together to fight a common enemy, but they have to work together. It's kind of like the anti Avengers, right?
Yeah.
All these villains that are coming together. At one point, they were villains. A lot of them were. But it's cool and it's gonna be fun. I have this weird feeling that it could be a better film than Fantastic Four. That's my bold prediction.
We'll
I
see.
really,
We'll
I
see.
don't,
Fantastic Four has just been hyped up so much that it's leaving room for disappointment.
I know. I don't want it to be honest, and I mean that sincerely and respectfully to everyone who worked on the film. But Fantastic Four has been a special place in my heart for so long, and it's been a really failed track record with Fox, and Marvel has to hit this one out of the park. They have to. And I'm very cautiously optimistic. I really hope they do. But man, as of right now, from what I've seen, at least in the trailers, Thunderbolts looks like it could be a better film. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. And our bounty was claimed. Yeah. Big shout out to the collector that reached out to me. We were able to claim a bounty mint number 3 for our mystery case. We did not open it. We never will.
Nope.
If it has the grail inside, no one's ever going to get it.
I mean, with only 48, 46 cases open, I don't think the grail's ever coming up.
I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Man, it's crazy to think that there's comics that are going to be locked inside of a vault forever. Potentially
unrevealed. Yeah.
That's wild to think about.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. But it means, regardless if people end up opening them or not, there's no harm, no foul. I just leading up to this point, I just appreciate y'all, and being involved in it and making it an instant sellout. It was a very special drop for us. And, it has Kevin's original artwork on it. And I understand it's tough when you have this collectible by itself, and then when you open it up, it disappears forever, and you get the comic inside. And if you get a $40 comic, that'd be pretty heart wrenching, But these things are selling for 2x, 2x, 3x. Some have sold for $250. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. So, but yeah, again, big shout out to the collector that was able to get this for us. And I mean, 300. I mean, we bought this one for 300. So there you go. Yo, Sleeping Comics. Hey, bud. Oh, we miss you, man. We got to get you back on. We got to get you back on here and just have a fun discussion, just like this. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sleeping. We both at the same time. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Thanks for supporting, man.
Really appreciate your support, buddy. Yeah. But yeah, we'd love to have you back on here and just have a fun, chill conversation like this. It'd be a lot of fun. Comic sets on VeVe. Whoa, what? This is a topic that's been very much debated over the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
People are stacked
since comics were first released. Yeah.
Comics were first released. And now here's your opportunity. You have an opportunity to finally make sets out of your comics. And it's a whole new strategy now for collecting on the app to increase your MCP points, which is super, super exciting. Sorry, I forgot. You can just come on with audio. It's okay. Yeah, we'll probably talk over each other a lot, but it'll be fine. It'll be worth it. But yeah, very cool. I was so happy to see this. I know this has been in discussion for a while. I think all the points that you've acquired. Actually, no, I don't think the points that you were able to acquire over the years have caught up.
So you don't get like retroactive.
I don't think
points?
so. I don't
No.
think that's the case. And that's okay. That's not a big deal. The fact that it's now finally moving forward, I can understand that might have been a pretty big undertaking to make
figure all that out.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, at least now set moving forward. That makes sense. Everyone's on a clean slate. So if you have a huge stack of comics, obviously you're going to be making a lot of MCP points. So it's a very cool opportunity there. Super exciting news. And what's really cool too is big shout outs. Yeah, comic sets. Yes. Big shout out to My Collectibles for posting this because I didn't even think about this, but there are comics that are individual variants on VeVe, especially all the free comics. So if you type in free comics on the app, some of them are like $2. So you can complete a set for like $2. Keep in mind the points are a lot lower, but still you're able to complete a set, which is really cool. Yeah. So I didn't even think of that. So I'm going on there like I spent like I think it was like less than $20 or $25, and I was able to get like 5 new sets or 6 new sets. Really
awesome.
cool. So yeah, totally worth it. Totally worth it. And here's a little bit of breakdown. So if anybody has questions out there, so for the comic books, as you know, the commons are 0.25, 0.5 for an uncommon, 2 points for a rare, 3 points for an ultra rare, and 6 points for a secret rare. But then on top of that, those are for the individual comics. For the sets, if it's 5 or more comics, 5 points. If it's 4 comics, 4 points, 3 comics, 3 points, and so on, 2 and 1. So you only get 1 point for the individual comic, but it doesn't complete a set, which is cool. So if you're looking to flex your total sets and just increase that number on a budget, that's a good way to do it.
Cheap way to do it.
Yeah, cheap way to do it. Yeah.
And then then if you have duplicate sets, then it reduces the points. So I guess second set 30%, 30%, third set 20%, fourth set 10%. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, everybody out there, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, physical or digital collectibles, please let us know. And also a big shout out to our sponsor, Fanable. Make sure to get on the Fanable app. You can download it now on Google Play or iOS. And the website is fanable.io. All their details are down below. Their links are down in our details. There you go. Figure that one out quick. All right. What is this? What is this?
What is this?
Spencer, I know really what is this?
Wait, what is this?
PSA has announced that they're going to be grading cards directly from eBay checkout. So if you buy a raw card, you can now send it directly to the PSA, which is wild. So if you buy an ungraded card, it has to be $250 or more on eBay. So they're not open up to every card, but cards that have relatively good value.
Yep.
You add the PSA grading at checkout on eBay, and then your card is sent directly to PSA. That is insane.
So cool.
No submissions to fill out, no forms or labels to print, no extra packaging or shipping, and it's protected by eBay authenticity guarantee, which honestly is kind of cool because if you let's say you buy that card, I actually like this a lot more. It's more validating for the seller and buyer because it's going to a third party. Yep. So if you buy a card and it's not authentic or it's damaged or it's not the photo of what you bought, you can dispute it, but PSA will back it up and they'll say, yeah, this card's not matching what was on the eBay listing. So you have a third party grading service that's going to validate for you. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah. And it's just the standard PSA grading fee.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah. They're just allowing, expediting the process a bit more.
Yeah.
I know somebody's brought that up during our live Q&A to Fanable. Is that going to be an option in the future? Yeah, potentially, maybe. I don't know. I think they have a lot of things they're working on right now. I think it's a really, really, really cool idea, but it probably takes some time to get there. They're building out a lot of cool things right now, and it's kind of tough too because I think eBay is and PSA are owned by the same company. Are they? I think so.
What was the question?
Was eBay and PSA owned by the same company? Are they the same?
I think eBay acquired PSA, right?
There you go. So it makes it easy, right? So for Fanable, it's a little trickier. Unless you do everyone, you're kind of favoring certain grading companies. So it makes it a little tricky. And that was the response that they had on our live stream in the interview. And I totally understand that. That makes total sense. So makes it a little tougher, but there could be some ways of working things out. But I think that's a long term vision.
Yeah. So I think actually, so it looks, I don't think they actually bought PSA outright, but I think PSA acquired the eBay vault specifically,
Oh,
but not, yeah. So I think
okay.
that's kind of, they acquired the vault, and then they had the kind of deeper connection through that. But yeah, golden auctions, they were acquired by eBay.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Golden was. Yeah,
Golden
yeah,
was
yeah,
eBay.
yeah, yeah. It's under the same umbrella, but that's super interesting. That's very cool.
Yeah.
I like the validation aspect. So it's also better for the seller too, because I know a lot of people who will get cheated out of collectibles
Yeah.
or things that they sell because buyers will say they didn't get it or wasn't real or authentic. It's really messed up.
Yeah.
It's happened a lot.
This doesn't, I guess, totally solve this. It's up to the buyer whether or not they want to grade it. So,
Mhm.
but if assuming that the person is a good person, they want to grade it won't be an issue. But yeah, but I don't think it totally solves that, because if somebody was being nefarious, they could just decide not to do the grading and just get it shipped directly to them.
Yeah, right. But that's why this to help solve that issue if they want to grade it.
Yeah, I know, but it's up to the buyer, and the buyer is the one who's nefarious. So it doesn't actually solve the problem, because if the buyer doesn't want to get it graded, they could just not get it graded and just buy the raw version and still do something wrong.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah,
that's a really
the seller isn't the one who's that is
uh,
getting
oh,
graded.
I see what you're saying now. Yeah,
Yeah,
good point. I think I'm so set on it. Like that's what I would do. There's
yeah,
no other option.
I know. Yeah,
No, that
hopefully they get some more categories in there soon too.
that makes sense. Yeah, I mean I will say PSA. They've really they've done a phenomenal job on turning opportunities of grading your cards, making it more convenient. They started with obviously, they go to conventions, which is great, but it's you have to go to convention to do that.
Mhm.
They've gone to like local card shops and set things up there for people, and they travel around. That's
They have
cool.
a GameStop partnership now, which is so huge.
That was the game changer. The
Yeah.
GameStop, and we've personally done that, and we actually had our cards graded, and we actually sent them off to Fanable.
Mhm.
So they're going to be in our vault soon, and that was a game changer because being able to go to GameStop and just dropping off your cards, which we did, we dropped off our cards, they took photos, sent it off. A month later, I picked them back up at the same GameStop. It was awesome. You have to pick them up at the same GameStop though. So if you're traveling to LA and you drop them off at there, you got to come back to that LA GameStop. You got to keep that in mind. It's really important. But yeah, it was really fun to see that process how it played out. PSA grades a lot harder now, and I think a lot of it's because of Beckett and CGC's pristine 10 grade. So I think they definitely grade a lot harder now for that reason. But yeah, either way, it's very cool. It was fun to be part of that process. Yeah, it's really neat. Really neat. There we go. Candy Digital and Futureverse. What? Okay, Spencer, break this down for us.
Yeah, I mean, this one, I feel like it kind of came out of nowhere. Was not expecting an acquisition, but I think it makes a lot of sense for both companies. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're all familiar with Candy, but I think a lot of people in the community are kind of familiarizing themselves with Futureverse right now. And yeah, I mean, they're building some really cool stuff. I mean, especially like the root blockchain that they made. It's like really purpose built for IPs and for making sure royalties are enforced and creators are actually benefit. Or I guess making sure that creators aren't screwed over.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think the platform they're building is really cool, and then obviously they have so many different IPs that they already are working with. So I think to bring Candy kind of into the fold, and bring MLB and DC and all the other brands that Candy has kind of into the Futureverse fold, I think it makes a lot of sense to kind of just build up their portfolio, and it makes it I don't know, a little bit closer to that goal of kind of Ready Player One, which is I think also part of kind of that ecosystem, like the original or one of the co-authors or co-creators of Ready Player One is involved with the project, which is pretty cool that the actual person who's behind Ready Player One is trying to build the real thing. So yeah, so I'm super stoked on this partnership. I think only good things can happen from it. I think they have quite a bit of resources. They raised a bunch of money. I think they raised like $40 or $50 million or something like that. So hopefully they haven't blown through it. I mean, I guess they blew through some of it buying Candy, but yeah, I think there are probably more resources to do more things with these IPs. I think it means that we'll have more, metaverse type experiences that we'll be able to have using our collectibles that we've, been able to collect through Candy over the last few years. So I think there could be some really cool things that come out with like bat cows, for example. I think, it's been pretty quiet on the bat cow side for a while. So I'm hoping this is a good opportunity for them to, revamp that project and start to bring new utility to it again. And yeah, I don't know. I'm very excited about it. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. I think it's really cool to see all these brands come together. I think it could be a platform where more brands will want to come in and do more things. This is, I mean, I presume this is only beginning in terms of brand announcements. I mean, Andy has Netflix, which is a lot of IP. They're doing really cool things that, I mean, I don't think there's been updates on the Netflix side lately, but there was one thing that I really loved, and I would love to see them do this more. They're selling an NFT, a high-res digital replica, or not replica, but highly there's a high-resolution 3D model of movie props. And they're selling those licensed. They're like, basically it's an NFT version of the movie prop licensed by Netflix.
Yeah, they did it with what? It was like Stranger Things, right?
Stranger Things. So you like buy Elle's dress in NFT format. That was the actual high-res scan prop, and it looked awesome.
Yeah,
that was and they could do one of ones of that, and I think that's just a cool idea. It adds so much value, and especially like the 3D models that they have of those props. It would be really cool in the future. And again, this is why I feel like digital collectibles are far from their day, is because technology has not caught up yet. And we're going to actually dive into that in a very few minutes. I'm really excited to dive in that topic, but I feel like technology has not caught up yet. And when it does, it's going to blow people's effing minds. I think having the opportunity to display your digital collectibles in your room, in your house, is going to be an absolute game changer. And I love to see like even the 3D models on Fanable in the future. Like this is a long vision, guys. So like if it ever happens, and it's speculation on my end. By the way, this is my hope that I can see that one day. I love to see the 3D models being able to be displayed in your house, so you can enjoy your collectibles in person using your AR glasses, and people can come over and say, "Oh my gosh, is that a Hulk 181 8.5 comic?" Yeah. That's actually it's in the Brinks vault. That's the actual comic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Super cool.
Enjoy them in real life. And same with VeVe collectibles, Candy Digital, same thing. So super cool, man. I'm excited for all this, and
I'm
excited to see what they're going to be building.
Yeah. I think very interesting things are coming, and I'm sure the Candy team is going to keep driving it forward.
Yeah, so such a smart acquisition, and I think that Candy Digital has set themselves up very well for this partnership. So a big shout out to Candy Digital and in the Futureverse for all the cool things that they're going to be building in the near future. So really excited for that.
Yep. Real quick, Sean. I just going back, I guess a couple slides, but Chris said this. I just wanted to point out. So PSA grading needs to be added to Go Collect soon as well.
Oh, it's good to know.
Very good.
That's great. I appreciate that, Chris. That's awesome. Yeah, I love that because I've comics have been really great on Go Collect. They've done a lot of really, really awesome updates, and I want to see more. I want to see comic books, but I want to see PSA graded collectibles as well. Funko Pops, VHS tapes. The hardest part about a lot of these collectibles is not having the pop reports.
Yep.
And I do think it's hard right now for sealed media because there's not really a place you can find that information.
Yep.
EGC gives it out or Rewind Grading. Until that information is released and on a consistent basis, it's very difficult to be able to keep track of all this. So I think that's something that will happen in the future. I don't know when. Who knows? Let's start with yellow labels on home media first for CGC.
That's what we're waiting for.
Yeah.
Hopefully by Comic-Con.
Oh my gosh, I would lose my mind. I was so happy if that happened. But yeah, very cool.
What's going on, Evolves? What's going on, Ronnie Lido? Yo.
Evolves, what's up, guys?
And I missed this before, but Matt Hughes built a DC collection for Lois Minseth. Nice. Smart.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. I've been enjoying your tweets. Really been enjoying your tweets. Thanks for all the fun information you've been posting. It's been fun.
Also, want to give a shout out to Chris Severs. If any of you out here, read instead of just watching videos, Chris puts together some awesome articles that he writes on the Go Collect blog. So definitely go check out those articles if you haven't.
Amazing.
His handle is Market Smart on Twitter. That's probably a good way to find them too.
Yeah, huge shout out to Chris. He does fantastic work, an amazing writer. So make sure to check them out. We have them on our website, but also on Go Collect as well. You can find them on there. So make sure to definitely check out his articles. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Tops has released VeeFriends packs. I mean, this happened like a week ago. Very cool news. We were part of the pre-sale listing, but we didn't get picked.
Tried to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that Josh Emmett, VeVe collector, UFC fighter, big shout out to Josh. He actually got picked. I saw.
Did he get picked? Oh, good for him. Nice.
Yeah, he's a rad guy. He's a very cool guy. I had a chance to meet him at New York Comic Con last year. Such a nice guy. But yeah, that's so cool. I'm happy that he got picked. And these are cool packs. I will say that we were at New York Comic Con last year. And I walked by and I saw Gary V like talking to people and just hanging out, and they're opening packs, and I'm just like, all right, cool. I'm going to the VeVe booth. But I wish I went back and bought some of those packs, because now I have a reference of what was happening. I back then it's just like there's so many shiny objects happening everywhere. You just get lost, right? But I wish I bought some of those packs. That's really cool. One, because they're selling for like $150 for each pack on eBay, which is nuts by itself. But the cards are cool, man. These are rad. I mean, look at these. The packaging looks fantastic. And then the rarities are really cool. So you have like a different set of rarities. You have refractors and ultra refractor or super refractors. And cards limited to 250, all the way down to one of ones. You have a couple one of ones, and I think these are the one of ones right here. Blast off, parallel, yeah.
I saw a live stream of Gary was ripping some packs on air, and I think they pulled one of these like one of ones, and they were freaking out. Yeah, it was a fun video to watch.
Yeah, and they sell for quite a bit, man. I think some of his cards are sold for like 3,000. It's wild. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, just really cool that an NFT brand was able to break into mainstream card collecting and get a set with Topps.
Yeah, seriously, very, very cool.
And I believe the actual VeeFriends NFT holders, they got like early access to be able to, or basically guaranteed to be able to buy a box, right?
Yeah, and on top of that, there was another NFT collection of his, and they were able to get free boxes, like these super much more limited boxes that probably sell for way higher premium on eBay. But his packs are selling for these boxes are selling for 2 to 3x on eBay right now. So you buy it for $100. He made it super affordable for everybody, which is really cool, because typically for releases like this, you're looking at $200 to $300 for a box of packs like this, and people would pay it. Like, people would pay it, but instead of doing a cash grab, he turned it into an opportunity for everyone to have a chance to buy and open these packs and just enjoy the experience at a much lower cost. So, big shout out to Gary V, man. I mean, that is so cool, and he's made it really fun and enjoyable, and they look great.
Yeah.
So, and Topps also, big shout out to Topps for the work they've done with Gary and VeeFriends, man. It's really rad. It's so fun to see this. It's fun to see physical collectibles get involved with digital space like this in Web3, and yeah, let's just see it. Keep it going, guys. Like, keep it going. This is great.
Yeah.
And now here's coming back to the technology. We were bringing that up earlier. AR glasses are now Tim Cook's top priority. This is interesting. Like, we've heard this before, but this is interesting. He wants to make sure that people have AR glasses that they can wear all day. And apparently he's super laser focused on beating Meta to market with the industry leading product. Yeah. And according to Bloomberg, an Apple insider has stated that it's the only thing he's really spending his time on from a product development standpoint.
Interesting.
And this is very exciting news.
Yeah.
This is very exciting news, because this is what we've been hoping to see, in the near future. A couple of years ago, we were speculating on this stuff. And then we saw the Apple Vision Pro come out, but it felt like more of a developer's model.
Yeah.
It's definitely not user friendly. It's heavy. I've tried it on. After 30 minutes, I'm like, dude, I have a headache in this thing. So until they get super slim and affordable, it's gonna be a while. But actually, Google released announced their version earlier at a TED Talk, and they look pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I said, AI, the conversations, the videos, obviously it's still work in progress. The stuff that you can see on screen, but in terms of translations, wow, really impressive.
Yeah.
Like they were converting really intense languages. Some I've never even heard of, to be honest. Like, wow, okay, that's impressive. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
It would
So
be amazing to travel in a, a foreign place and be able to just be able to communicate with people,
yeah, especially having this microphones that go in your temple.
Yeah, like the bone conduction.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever tried those, but they are incredible.
Yeah.
So basically the speaker's like right here,
It's
and
not
you
actually a speaker. It's just it's like
vibration.
it's vibration. So it, like basically it vibrates the bones in your ears without you having to like actually put something inside your ears and like block out the sound. So you still have basically still able to hear your surroundings, but you can hear whatever you need to kind of like you kind of like hear it like inside your head. It's a little weird.
Yeah, yeah. It is weird because you hear everything going on while you're also hearing what's happening there.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's a perfect way to have a conversation with somebody, especially
Mhm.
a different language. I just, yeah, I'm really excited for all that, and especially the environments that you can build it within your own home. I think it's going to be very, very cool as well. But that actually brings me to my next example. Another reason why I'm excited for AR or even VR technology. So this is really awesome. This is a blockbuster that somebody built in their home using AR technology. They had individual DVDs on bookshelves that you can pick. Now, you're thinking, why is that a big deal? Why is that fun? Well, one, it's nostalgic as hell.
Mhm.
If you've been to a blockbuster in the past or even didn't have a chance to, you might have an opportunity to do that again, which is really, really fun.
Mhm.
Two is ownership. Now, for streaming services like on Disney Plus, for example, there have been shows released like Willow, for example, which is based on a 1980s film, science fiction film. They released a show called Willow. It was on for, I think, a few months, maybe 6 months, and they pulled it and it's gone. You can't buy it. You can't rent it. It's not in physical format. They never released it on Blu-rays or DVDs. So it's gone forever. It's like it never existed. Same thing that happened with another show, which was actually a personal favorite of mine called Prop Culture, which is about a host that travels around the United States to different filmmakers or collectors, and they see their movie props, and he reintroduces movie props from like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and he brings it to like Christopher Lloyd's house, and it's so cool. It was such a cool show, and talking about pop culture, collecting history, and he himself was a huge collector, owned a lot of really awesome movie props like Indiana Jones. That show's gone. It's gone. It's like it never existed. You can't buy it anywhere. You can't rent it anywhere. And I think that is such a waste. One, I personally think it's messed up. I think it's terrible, especially for a show that was that good. I'm surprised they didn't release more seasons of it. It was fantastic. I'm also biased, obviously.
I don't know if I froze or if you froze. um, well,
We're back.
is that you who froze or was that me who froze?
That was me, I think. We're such a rule. Yeah.
I was so
Anyways,
confused there for a second.
the whole point. Thanks for bearing with us, guys. The whole point is what's really cool about an opportunity to have ownership of this is that if they turn these individual,
Oh no.
they look they look like DVDs or Blu-rays or even VHS tapes, you have full ownership of it. But on top of that, if you ever decide to sell it, the licensors get secondary sales, so they're continuously making money. Now, obviously, the balance is live streaming versus this, but I think even for content that's not released on streaming services, they should give an opportunity for people to buy it
Yeah.
and to own it. It's such
Agreed.
a waste because I would buy Pop Culture in a heartbeat. I know there's a lot of people that probably would, or even Willow. They're fans of the show and they just take them off the streaming service and they're gone forever. And I think that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. Yeah. So I think we're not going to see it for DVDs or for movies. We're going to see it for music as
Mhm.
well. We'll see it for music and other media content. But
I
I
mean,
think movies.
I have like a lot of music that I guess I downloaded years and years ago, like especially like old like mixtapes, like off of like Dat Piff and like stuff like that, like things that like aren't available on streaming services that like I thankfully still have the files on my computer from years and years ago, but like otherwise like some of that stuff might not be super easy to get,
Yeah, yeah, that's so cool, man. This looks so fun. It's super nostalgic. By the way, I saw Sinners up there. I don't know. I don't know if that was the movie. I don't know if that makes sense. That's not out yet. The top left corner right there. There it is.
Oh yeah.
Sinners isn't out yet. Oh, What's going on there? Is that a bootleg copy? Dude, by the way, that movie, have you seen the ratings for that movie? 99% out of 100
Really?
views so far. But I will say, take that for a grain of salt. I saw a movie called Drop yesterday. Oh man, it was all right. There was
Okay.
a lot of flaws, and that got like I think
Good
87
good reviews. Yeah. No.
views. I will say though, incredibly well done for only like a $10 million budget film.
Oh, cool.
Unbelievable. Like I thought that was a $50 million budget film, and looked and said 10 million. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. That's incredible. How did they pull that off? There were a couple of VFX shots and stunts that were insane. I don't want to spoil it. It's worth watching. It's fun. Take it for what it is. But we went and saw that last night, and it was a fun ride. But yeah, pretty impressive for a $10 million budget film. Pretty crazy.
Nice, nice, nice.
Sanjay,
Yo, what's going on, Sanjay?
what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining. Sanjay's got actually a question. What's wrong with DC Comics? Why did they just go with VeVe rather than passing from company to company? I mean, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes that we're not sure about. We don't know if actually their philosophies aligned. Maybe it just it made more sense going the Futureverse. Maybe Futureverse had a better offer. I have no clue. I've
Yeah, I,
heard
mean,
of
I think the difference, like Futureverse, is more of like a content focused company and content and gaming and experiences. And I know VV is working to get there, but hasn't gotten there yet. Totally. They've done some stuff with the VV verse, but it's not, not fully there yet. I think Futureverse, frankly, is just further along when it comes to, just building an actual usable metaverse. So I think from that perspective and like wanting to build experiences, I mean, like DC, I could definitely see them wanting to, build, use like comic book ownership or, bat cows or whatever to create, cool gaming experiences or whatever. I mean, I think, and also I think it's not necessarily DC's decision. I guess the license is owned by, or the license to distribute digital comics and IP is owned by Candy. So when Candy was acquired, then the IP license goes with them.
yeah,
So I don't know if it's necessarily DC Comics decision specifically, but I'm sure they were consulted. Just because
yeah,
they're such a big part of the Candy brand. But yeah, I'm sure there probably were talks about does it make sense to go with VV, or maybe eventually they'll go back to VV for something. Who knows? But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, definitely. And I think also Futureverse is really pushing the idea of interoperability and self custody.
yep,
I don't in VV, they've talked about it in the past, but I think a lot of it probably has to do with the licensors that they work with. So it's kind of out of their control. Potentially, I don't know. I'm just making, I'm just speculating at this point. But I know that DC, it's one brand. DC is one brand. They're under the same roof. They can literally just probably discuss it internally and decide if these are things they want to do. And they've talked about how they wanted to. It's important for them to do interoperability and self custody. So I think maybe for those reasons too, that could be one of the small factors that maybe makes sense. I don't know. It's hard to say. Um, but I think also it's nice to see a broader scope of other companies doing well and succeeding in the space. I think we need to see a lot of success in this space from different companies for this all to work.
yeah,
And it doesn't mean that VeVe and Futureverse somehow can't collaborate in the future. That could be something that's potential. Maybe their collectibles are interoperable across different platforms. Who knows? Well, time will tell. But yeah, it's just I think it's a win-win for everyone.
yeah. I don't know. I'm personally excited about it. I definitely see synergies there between the two. So yeah,
And he was asking, also asked, don't know what the fit is between DC Comics and Futureverse. I feel like we kind of nailed a lot of those points.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I hope that makes a little more sense, Mr. MC1. All right.
Does anybody have any questions? If you do, shoot them up here. Otherwise, yeah, we'll wrap things up pretty soon.
Yeah.
Looks like somebody's child maybe got on the keyboard and
Let's not acknowledge that. Let's not acknowledge that. That's good. Oh, classic. Um, we just want to make sure everyone out there knows again, we have a few bounties out. We raised our X-Men #2 bounty to $2,000 if you nail 1963. let us know. Post it and tag us in the comments or tag us in on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Let us know that you posted it, and we'll purchase it from you. You only have until I think it's probably a week left. VeVe will announce when the comic will be burned, the remaining supply in the store. But I think there's only about a week left because I set a reminder for myself to to decide if we wanted to raise the bounty or not for this, and we decided to raise the bounty. So definitely take a chance if you think it's worth it. I think it's a very cool comic, and I'd be very disappointed to see this comic just burn,
Yep.
this number burn forever and just never exist. So, we talked about this earlier. That happened with Fantastic Four 48. It's very unfortunate. We raised that bounty to $5,000, and I think like 70, 80, maybe 90% of the supply was minted in the store, and still that small percentage had that one mint number we're looking for, and it's gone. It's gone forever. That's the part of collecting, right? Not Murdoch bounty. We have a bounty for the common 1964, $1,500, and the uncommon 1964 for $1,000. And I know if anybody saw our original post, we had it for the rare. We got mixed up on the numbers. We realized there's only 1,700 editions, so 1964 isn't possible.
Yep.
So we decided to flip it a little bit. We made the common the higher bounty because we feel that's a harder one to get, and the uncommon for 1,000. And whoever posted something about that in the past stuck with us. So big shout out to him or her again. And we also have a $500 bounty for Captain America 333. This is dropping next Tuesday on VeVe. So this is the first appearance of John Walker, who's going to appear again in his first film, actually. Yeah, because he was in the series and now he's in the movie Thunderbolts. Yeah, very excited for that movie. I think it's going to be good. Really excited about it. So the publishing year is 1987. The mint number we're looking for is 1987. So if you're able to get it, I think there's only 2,000 editions. So I think this could potentially sell out.
Yeah.
Probably should sell out. Yeah, it's a cool comic. So yeah, let us know, guys. Let us know. We'd love to acquire that from you if you are interested in selling. And of course, big shout out to our sponsor, Fanable. Make sure to get involved with Fanable. You can find their details down or their links down the details below. Always flip that. Fanable is doing amazing things. We have our comics and cards sent over there. We're going to be sending our VHS tapes soon, all secured and safe in the Brinks vault, all for free. You can ship there, you can have it stored and insured for free. Mind blowing, while having full access to your collectible at all times, which is just insane. So, yeah, big shout out to our sponsor, Fanable. We're very excited for the future and everything they're developing. And keep your eyes and ears out for the curated drop next week. It's apparently going to be awesome. No surprise there. they're definitely 2 for 2. They're definitely 2 for 2. So, all right. Do we have any other questions at all?
Questions.
Oh, we have a couple more questions.
What's the Superman comic dropping? Oh, we forgot to talk about that.
So okay, I apologize, everybody. It's not that I forgot to talk about it. I realized it was a little premature because I think we're going to do it next week. We'll talk about it, but it's the first appearance of Lex Luthor. We'll make sure to tweet out about it as well. But yeah, it's the first appearance of Lex Luthor. It's a very cool comic, definitely a significant key comic. I think of the value of it. I'll make sure to tweet it out. So if you're not following us on Twitter or Instagram, make sure to do so. And I'll do a nice post about it so everyone knows like how many total editions there are in physical format, what the value is for its highest grade, and also the lowest grade. That's something I feel like we should be talking about more, Spencer. Mm-hmm. It's not just our highest grade or the value of the highest grade of that collectible, but also the lowest grade. So like the reason for that is there are comics that are worth like $250,000 in their highest grade, but then the lowest grade, like $50, $100.
Yeah, not worth much.
Yeah, like Fantastic Four 48, kind of similar. Tales of Suspense 57, first appearance of Hawkeye, very similar. Mm-hmm. You can get them for very low grades for very reasonable prices, but so that's what you have to pay attention to is not just the ceiling but also the floor. Whereas AF-15, first appearance of Spider-Man, that floor is like it's fluctuated a lot, but between $10,000-$15,000, I think somewhere around there. Yeah, maybe around 10,000. Fantastic Four 1 is around 4,000 or 5,000. That's a 0.5 grade, and we're talking like half the cover is missing. So that's important to think about this stuff because you understand the ceiling and also the floor. So when it comes to NFT format, does it make sense the value of the collectible you're buying at the price you're buying? you're buying it. So I hope that makes sense. I'm telling you right now, it's definitely worth going for, and probably max minting.
Mhm.
The Lex Luthor first appearance comic, definitely worth it, 100%.
Agreed.
I'm curious, do you think they're going to release the Action Comics 1? The allergies are kicking my ass right now. My nose.
At some point. Well, I mean, that's a good good segue into the next question.
It makes sense for that. I mean, I would say it would make the most sense to release it in July,
Yeah.
but you line it right with. But
Right with
it's also the biggest drop by far, so I can see why they would hold on to it.
hold off. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe wait for a full bull market to come back to do that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. But that is definitely one of the top 5 books I'd like to see released for sure. Like that, like Cap 1 for sure.
Yeah. I will we'll cross it off on both platforms. Detective Comics 27, the first appearance of Batman.
Yep.
That's an absolute banger. Action Comics 1. I'd love to see we were just talking about this earlier, but I'd love to see Silver Surfer #1, which is probably my favorite cover of all time. Silver Surfer #4, also a really big comic. That was actually Stan Lee's favorite cover. It's the one of Silver Surfer and Hulk.
Yep.
No, sorry. Silver Surfer and Thor fighting on Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
And that was Stan Lee's favorite cover of all time. It's really cool to hear that story. So yeah, those are a couple really exciting comics that we're excited to see, hoping to see in the near future. I presume, lining up with the Fantastic Four release and Silver Surfers in that film, I presume that we'll probably see those some of those books in the near future.
Yeah.
I hope, at least. That's me hoping. Me hoping. Yeah. And obviously Captain America Comics #1. That's the one I'm most between that and Action Comics #1.
Yep.
I think on Candy. And then also Captain America Comics #1, where Captain America's punching Hitler in the face. I think that's probably the most valuable comic of all time. And the reason why I say that was because the scarcity of that comic, what it represents historically, pop culture, but also there's one Blue Label 9/8.
Yep.
Like, what the
Insane.
a 9/8?
Insane that exists.
There's barely 9/8s for Silver Age books, but this is a Golden Age 9/8 comic of one of the most significant comics in history.
Mhm.
Less than I think it's maybe less than 100 copies in existence. There's one 9/8. I mean, if that doesn't sell for less than 10 million, if that doesn't sell for more than $10 million, I'd be very shocked.
I know.
That's at least an 8-figure comic. Has to be. A
Yeah.
9/8? Are you kidding me? What the insane.
Should
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, those are yeah. But anyways, thanks so much for joining everybody. This has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate you all. And I'll make sure to tweet out about the Lex Luthor comic, first appearance comic, in the coming days, especially when they announce it and we have some more graphics to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll probably hold off on them making that official announcement or that tweet, and then we'll post about it, talk about it, and go from there. But I would probably recommend max minting that one. It's probably worth it.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll see you on the next one. Appreciate you guys.
You guys.